30 because I had the 20 days of hometown recruiter, they called it.
Okay, yeah.
I showed up, and my recruiter wasn't there anymore. And I think there's one there that actually remembered me. He goes, let me see your paper. Signs off on it. So I got 20 days extra just home. Like, didn't have to do nothing. It was cool.
You're supposed to get, because you accrue your leave in boot camp, so it's 2.5 days a month.
Yeah, 2.5 a month.
So we get 7.5, and then they just extend it to 10 days. They give you an extra 2.5 that you don't have to make up, I don't think. So, and then you go to if you're infantry, you go to infantry school, and then if you're not,
that's
infantry,
what you were in the Marines, right?
No,
Marines?
I was a radio guy. I was a comm guy.
Oh, you were one of those commos.
Yeah, I fixed radios. I didn't want it. When my recruiter was actually pretty smart. He was a 0351 assaultman, which is like a numbed down version of a combat engineer. Okay. But he was infantry, so he showed up, and he goes, what do you want to do in the Marine Corps? And I said, well, I want to do what you do. I want to be infantry. And he goes, well, hold on. And he goes, you plan on staying there for 4 years or 20 years? And I was like, fuck, man, 4 years. 20 years is forever. I'm not even 20 years old. And he goes, well, look, he's like, pick something the Marine Corps can teach you that when you get out, when you get off active duty, that you can use in the real world. And I was like, looking back on it, I was like, hindsight, that was the best advice a recruiter could give.
I was too stubborn. I said, I want to go shoot shit. Just give me, I just want to go shoot shit. Like, at first I want to be a cavalry scout.
Okay.
But they didn't have any openings for that. Then I picked infantry. Then I ended up being a mortarman, and I loved every second of it because I loved math. I love numbers, and that's all it is just grids. You get numbers thrown at you, how the distance is, the angle. It was all kind of numbers. So I absolutely loved it.
And you were mechanized, right? You were the strikers.
I sat my fat ass on a striker. Good thing I was a good shooter. I could shoot, so I got thrown right up on the 240 up on top.
Yeah. And
then never had to drive. Bypass that right off the get-go.
That's lucky right there. Damn, you really are one of those country boys that you kind of run into that's in the infantry, and they're just like, I fucking love shooting. Like,
I just want to shoot shit. Like, hell, that's all I do now.
You ask them to write like a fucking DA 4865 or something. You're like, what the fuck is that?
Towards the end, like, they stuck me behind a computer. And like,
did they?
Like, fuck, I don't know. Give me a gun. I'm good with that one.
They used to stick our guys, our short-termers, the guys in the infantry that couldn't do another deployment. Or whatever, they'd stick them at the front gate. They were gate guards. Yeah, that sucked. But
hey,
no shit. Yeah. So all right. So you get to Benning. You go through boot. Any funny boot camp stories?
I don't know. Not really. I just kind of kept my nose clean. Just stayed out of it. I didn't pass. Like, I know that. I got held an extra 3 weeks because I couldn't do sit-ups. I couldn't pass my PT test. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know. Nothing really crazy out of the ordinary.
Yeah, we got guys coming to our unit now, and the reserve guys, but I don't know what's going on at basic training, but I think they failed their last PT test, and they still get to our unit because they get to our unit, and they failed their first PT test.
Really?
Yeah, we get guys that show up, and they're like, they can't pass their run. And I'm like, why can't you fucking pass? You just graduated 2 weeks ago. They're like, I didn't pass it then either. And I was like,
well, they signed off.
I guess. I don't know. Or maybe they fudged the numbers.
Best thing was from, I guess, basically, I was pretty good with when we were doing our mortar training. My instructor, or pit instructor, or whatever it was, he was E6. I got caught with dipping already in the barracks. So somebody told him that. So he slips a fucking can of chew in my pocket, goes and tells my drill instructor, and then they pull me out of formation and they yell at me for having fucking chew on me.
So he set you up?
Yeah, he set me straight up. I had no idea, like in my cargo pockets, not having, like, being one of those shit bags, not having them closed all the way. God. He was able to slip a can in my pocket without me noticing. Yeah. And then he went and told my drill, and oh man.
Really?
For a good 20 minutes, they're screaming at me, and then I guess I went a little overboard for his comfort, and he's like, hey, listen, I set him up. And
so he admitted it.
Yeah, he admitted it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Hey,
but still kind of a dick.
I think he did it in the beginning, but like it was just to fuck with me because I kind of liked it a little too much, so I really focused on it, really enjoyed it. So I was, I guess, towards the top of my class for it.
Okay, yeah.
She's like, I got to fuck with him too. But,
right, yeah.
No,
okay. Yeah, when we get to infantry school or Marine combat training for the Pogues, we were like in processing. It was like you're in the barracks, but like the next day you hump out to the field. But it was the first time I ever saw a black guy chewing. Like I didn't know. I was ignorant, And somebody decided to be a rat and tell one of the instructor or the cadre, if you will.
Cadre, that's it.
Well, the cadre, whatever I can't remember what we called it at the time. But one of the instructors, because there was all these no tobacco policy signs all over the place, like no cigarettes, no chewing tobacco. And again, somebody told one of the instructors that this guy had a dip in. And I remember the instructor saying, like, if you got a dip in, you better swallow it. And this fucking guy swallowed it. And it's like, you could have just spit it out, but he swallowed it. Instead of spitting it out, he fucking swallowed it. Yeah, I was like, why the fuck would you swallow it?
Oh, boy. That's hard.
And then I remember the instructor coming, he's like, I was just going to yell at you. He's like, I'm not going to fucking tell you to swallow it. But I think he might have said something like, you better swallow that. And the guys fucking did it.
Just did it.
Again, it was so long. It was 2006. Man, that was so long ago. But the Army, like, even when you go through, because when I went to reclass school for 12 Bravo, yeah, there's still, like, instructors, but, like, they still
like
kind
that
of talked. Yeah,
they
do.
They're not, because I don't know, I look at it now, like, you get somebody screaming at me, like screaming in my fucking face. Like, I'm probably not listening to you. I have no idea what you're saying to me, for one, because you're screaming at me. I'm not sure why yet, but you're trying to tell me, but you're so mad, and I'm laughing because your face is so red, and like you got this fucking vein bulging out of your fucking face. So I'm not really listening to you. I think they would like break it down a little bit and like, not get angry right away, and kind of. So they're pretty cool, and notice that they learn more when like you're not so angry at everything.
I had to really kind of step back when I switched over to the Army, and I was like, man, it is softer. But now I've lost that mindset. I more adapt it and understand. Like you said, if you're screaming at somebody, they're probably not listening.
Yep.
So, yeah, if you kind of break it down, talk to them, even if you're mad at them, if you can break it down a little bit, they'll understand it a little bit better. So, infantry school, mortar school, and then did they give you a choice where you wanted to go? Or
well, I guess I don't remember exactly when we filled out the paper. Like, your top 3 choices, duty station. I'm German. My family heritage is German. So I'm like, all right, Germany. Then I've always wanted to go to Alaska, so I picked Alaska.
Yeah.
I don't remember what my third choice was, but I ended up getting my top choice, Germany. Pretty cool. Got sent over there, and I actually have this thing to this day, because when I first got in, hazing was not okay, but it wasn't as top line.
Yeah.
So new guy always got the egg, is what it's called. It was called the egg.
Okay.
So it's this rock, concrete rock, about this big. I should have brought it. I should have brought it. And it's painted infantry blue.
Okay.
Right. So we're mortars. I'm in a scat. I was stationed over in Vilsig, Germany, a 2nd Cavalry Regiment. So we got a whole bunch of cavalry guys that think they're as good as infantry. Infantry, we're the best. You ain't. So we're always fighting. So this egg, they're supposed to take it from us or however they can, and then paint it, and then give it back to like our sergeants or whatever, our section sergeants. So and it's 36 pounds. This fucking thing's 36 pounds. And it kind of signifies the weight of our round, though. Like the mortar system I was on, the round weighed 36 pounds.
Okay.
So either new guys, or if you fucked up that bad, had to carry this thing around.
Yeah.
Day and night, 24 hours. Right. It was a fair game. I never had it stolen, but I remember one of my buddies, he was late for formation. He ended up taking it, not even an hour into him having this thing, it got stolen. And it got painted, I think, tan. No, not tan. It was like a yellowish, but like a brownish tan color. And supposedly you're supposed to get smoked to whatever color that the Cav Scout's painted to.
Okay.
He just got smoked for 6 hours straight. Like, all training was set aside for this guy just to get tore up.
Okay.
Yeah, just because they took this egg.
So they know, like, it
was a game.
Thing. Yeah.
It was a game.
Want to take it, right?
Our sergeants would put it out to the rest of the scouts, because there was 14 of us in our platoon. That's a whole big platoon.
That's fucking nuts.
And then in the cavalry world, they're platoons, troops. Was it troop? Yeah, troop instead of company.
Yeah.
And then so on, whatever it was. So we're in a cavalry troop of like 110 people.
Okay.
And we're 14 of them. So we got, a good 80-some people trying to steal this fucking egg from us. And you have to sleep with that son of a bitch, like, locked to you.
That's miserable.
Yeah.
That's that shit that's like, I look back on, it's like, nah, I'm glad I don't have to fucking
I had to carry that thing for 2 months, though. I was so happy when somebody took it from me.
Just because you were the new guy?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It took you that long to get new guys?
Well, I was a new guy. Then I fucked up a couple times. I was still in process, because in processing over in Germany was 2 weeks.
Oh.
You're not allowed to drink. You're not allowed to go out. You're not allowed to do this.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm new to the unit. Specialist in my platoon, one of our fisters. He's like, come on. You'll be all right. I'll take care of you. Come on. Well, we go out, and then he just fucking leaves me. I have no idea where the fuck I'm at. I can't speak a lick of German. Some fucking town. We were actually in Nuremberg, Germany.
Okay.
And he's like, don't know anybody else around me. And then they came looking for me the next day, and he's like, oh, well, I took him down to Nuremberg, but I don't know what happened to him. So I got all of it. They let him go. I just got screamed at, so I had to keep the egg. Got smoked a little bit.
Hey, no paperwork.
Not that time.
No? Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I was. Then I did it again a week later because it was Christmas. That's what it was.
Oh,
it was. I didn't get into Germany until December 2009.
All right.
So it was Christmas break because all in processing stopped.
Oh,
so my 2 weeks in processing was like now a month because you got your Christmas break.
Yeah.
The whole leave block or block leave time. So the week later on New Year's Eve I did it again and I got in trouble again. That time there was a little bit of paperwork, but I didn't lose no rank or nothing over it.
So that's got to be just an overseas thing. 2 weeks of in processing.
Well, yeah, because we had to do the culture change. We had to learn about the German culture. Learn some of the I think it was like 3 days of just German culture, then 3 days of learning their language, and then what we can and can't do on and off post. Because I lived off post, I couldn't travel from my house to base in my uniform.
Yeah, okay.
I had to come in civilians with my clothes in a bag.
Yep.
So not as easy as over here, I'm sure. Cause I've never been on a base over here, really.
Well, yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, guys stop at gas stations and fucking grocery market.
But by the time I got out, the whole hazing thing was like, there is no hazing. You're not allowed to do this. So I still have the egg. It's sitting right there. I look at it all the time like, that thing.
Fuck, man.
I watched that thing get thrown out of a fourth-story window, hit the ground, hit the road, and it broke the road. It didn't break the egg. But the whole story behind it is it's going to hatch the best infantryman ever.
Oh, God.
So it's never going to fucking hatch. I'm stuck with this fucking egg for the rest of my life.
Yeah. It's funny how those stories are made up. Like, you don't know where they're made up, but it just keeps going. It gets passed down. But I do actually respect that about the Army. I see stories on, like, U.S. Army what the fuck moments on Facebook.
Oh, my unit's been on there quite a few times.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
But the amount of, like, stupid... Like, that shit's funny. And I mean, the big aspect of it, the big picture. But what's... Again, with the hazing... Like, when I came into the Marine Corps, hazing was absolutely zero. Like, there was none.
Really?
If you wanted to smoke somebody, you had to get down and push with them. So I kind of thought that was the mentality when I switched over to the Army. So when I was smoking guys, I was getting down and pushing with them. And my squad leader came up and he's like, what the fuck are you doing? And I was like, I'm smoking them. And he's like, but you're pushing too. He's like, you're not doing it. I was like, oh, what am I supposed to do? And he goes,
sit there.
Yeah, you watch. And I was like, that's hazing. Yep. That's the fucking whole definition of hazing. But we never made anybody carry any books or carry any rocks like any giant ID cards when they fucking lost their ID. I did all kinds
because, I lost a lot of rank. I went from E4 back down to E1. Yeah. Wow. I'm sure we'll get into that then. We'll hear about that. But yeah, it was good times. I loved it over there.
Well, we might as well get into it now. What?
After my first deployment.
Oh, okay. Well, hold on.
It was during my first deployment, into after it. That's what. So we'll get into it then. But
okay.
Yeah.
Damn. No, I never got demoted. I should have. I probably should have. Again, after my first deployment, I was just a shitty Marine my first 2 years in. Like boot camp, I was scared. I was timid. You
were young.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I had an attitude problem coming out of boot camp and going back to like infantry school. We had female instructors, and I had that sexist attitude where I was like,
For
what?
infantry?
Oh yeah. So like,
Wow.
so if you're not infantry by MOS, you go to infantry school. It's called Marine Combat Training. It's like the first like 3 weeks of infantry school condensed, like everything.
Okay.
So you get a little bit of like grenades, AT4s, 203s, machine guns.
Just like the basics of
Yeah,
all.
you get real quick down and dirty, and it's 3 weeks long, and you stay out in the field, and the instructors don't have to be infantry; they can be whatever MOS. It's basically
As long as they went through that school, though.
yeah,
Okay.
yep, yeah, and it's kind of like a, what do you call it? Like a broadening tour kind of thing. So yeah, you could either be recruiter, drill instructor, or Marine combat training instructor.
Okay. It's one of those 3 things that you kind of have to progress your career.
Yeah,
anyway.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
if you want to be first sergeant or sergeant
Yeah.
major. So yeah, I had 2 females, and I just had this mindset like, no, like I'm.
Women aren't combat arms.
And
No.
they are. Oh,
Yeah.
well, at the time.
Now, at the time
are.
they weren't. Now they
Yeah.
are.
And again, it was a stupid young. I was like, fucking. I'm not listening to a woman tell me what to do. Even though they were both. I think one was a staff sergeant and one was a E5.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I made some stupid comments, not about them directly, but it was just they'd tell me to do something. I'm like, well, fucking, they don't have to do no, those comments. And I was like, all right, I'll fucking
Just make your situation worse.
yeah, exactly. Yep. And then my workup to well, I remember checking into my unit and like being in a comm unit, a lot of pogues. We were all pogues. There was a lot of fat people, a lot of fucking fat Marines, E5s, E6s, E7s. And I made a comment in front of a female corporal. And I was like, I hope I don't fucking get fat like everybody else here. And she didn't like that. I remember she told my platoon sergeant, yeah, so.
Oh, fuck.
And the only way they can haze you is at PT, so they fucking made me do shit. Then my pre-deployment workup, I was the youngest guy on a 15-man team and the lowest ranking guy on the 15-man team, and I was just fucking uncomfortable, and I was tired of getting dealt the short stick, and I made some stupid decisions. I never got in trouble, but like it was like really petty shit. So when we were in 29 Palms and we were packing up our M4s and like the M4 cases.
No, we never seen those.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, we had the crates.
yeah.
Or like what in the arms room that they lock them up in cages or whatever.
Yeah. That's what we're typically used to, but because we were on a advisor team, they're like, your shit's going in a separate Connex, and this is how you pack them up. And I was like, okay. So I had a sergeant and 2 corporals, and then it was me packing it up. And they made a comment about, they were fucking picking on me. And I kicked some sand, and it went right on top of the M4s inside the case, and the sergeant didn't like that too much. But it was like little stupid shit like that. But again, I just had a really bad attitude. And then once I got back from Iraq, like everything kind of clicked. Like the light bulb was like, "Hey, this is."
Oh, it made you grow up a little bit quicker over there.
Yeah.
See, I was never there in Iraq, so I don't know what anything that was like. But my situation, definitely, like, I came back. It's like, oh shit, I gotta grow up a little bit. I gotta get my shit straight. Yeah.
Yeah. Regardless of where you go for a deployment, I think it's just that you see the big picture. You're like, oh, I was doing this for this reason.
Yep.
And it kind of, the light bulb goes off and a lot of sparks fucking flicker and you're like, okay, I get it now.